Those freaking coaches are like younger than Tom Brady and Drew Brees right now.
He's 35.
Isn't that ridiculous though? Like the coaches, like back in the day, were all like fossils.
He's basically our age.
Like there was never that kind of like disparity.
Uh-oh, Todd might score.
Do you ever say words just because they go like in sentences that you've heard before, but you're not really 100% sure what they mean?
I don't know. I might have, but I can't think of anything. It sounds like something I would do specifically.
Yeah. Next time we do it on the podcast, we're calling each other out.
When have I ever done that?
Let's get loaded. Welcome to the Loaded Box Podcast.
We never finish first because we finish last.
Thank you once again for tuning into the Loaded Box Podcast. DJ, you've got beef with Jesus? What did you were going to say there?
Loaded, like, that's the shortest intro we've ever done. Like, I was not ready. We need to have longer intros than that. It can't be 5 seconds.
Sometimes you got to pitch a couple curveballs and some change-ups. Keep them on their toes.
Make like a noise and then just start it. Like it should be like whoop and then welcome.
You stayed. We were talking last podcast Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the day you go out and get drunk. I did. Did you?
No, I did not.
You stayed good.
I was still making up for Saturday. My wife was murdering me. I couldn't drink until yesterday, so.
Dude, Thanksgiving was so hard. I went to the gym in the morning and like I had to go into the bathroom and sit down. I thought I was going to throw up.
Why didn't you even go to the gym?
I don't know. I was still drunk. I thought it was a good idea. I literally think that's what happened.
Indubitably.
Yeah, that's a good one. See, I wouldn't know what that would mean, but I would use it in a sentence.
I didn't know what it means either. I just felt like saying it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, let's jump into some Week 12 instant reactions. We were talking about Thanksgiving. We had a trio of games, started with the Vikings and the Lions. What is your single-syllable instant reaction?
Single syllable is enjoy it while it lasts, Vikings fans. You know what? I'm going to take away from all their happiness because next year, Aaron Rodgers comes back and rips every ounce of fucking confidence you ever had from right under your goddamn nose. So enjoy it while the best quarterback in the league is up, because it's going to be gone next year.
So I think this is a mixture of a couple of things. It's a mixture of you being upset that the Vikings are actually good, and it's a cop-out for you not to have to talk about them that much, because you're just like, oh, enjoy it while it lasts. Like, you don't want to give them too much credit.
Nope. You can't. Best quarterback in the league's up. Sammy Watkins.
My single syllable is, it's actually 5 letters. It's DFS space WR, which stands for Daily Fantasy Sports Wide Receiver. Marvin Jones in that game, 6 for 192 and 2 touchdowns, and that was in a game, a matchup against Xavier Rhodes as well. And in his 5 out of his last 6 games, over 85 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns during that streak. Going into Sunday, he was second in the NFL with 8 receiving touchdowns. So Marvin Jones has quietly just been dominating. I mean, Golden Tate has a good game here and there. Kenny Golladay comes back, steals some headlines just for basically playing. But Marvin Jones has been the man there.
Marvin Jones has been on my bench in one league the entire year except for 1 week, and that week he dominated. He's dead on my bench this week. I guarantee I go put him in next week, and he does fucking nothing. Like, I still gonna get like high score with him. But he's always on my bench because I'm always so nervous because like he'll just have a whole bunch of shitty weeks in a row.
Last 6 though, 5 of his last 6 have been 85 yards and 6 touchdowns during that streak. You can't ignore that anymore. You literally have to play him. Who are you using over him?
I have Julio and Keenan Allen.
Okay, so those are no-brainers.
But then my flex, I could have used him because it's like Abdullah, him. I had Robert Woods.
So Robert Woods has been good though.
Yeah, but he's out this week. I used Jerick McKinnon over him.
Yeah, I guess I get that. In that matchup, that would make sense. I thought you were an idiot right away, but
with the matchup, I liked McKinnon over the opposite way, like with the Vikings defense. So that was weird.
Makes sense. Well, let's go on to the second Thanksgiving game. It was the Chargers beating the shit out of the Cowboys, 28-6. They basically had their way with them in the second half. What's your instant reaction?
Dak to Dak. That's back-to-back shitty games for Dak, and this one was just pure shit. 179 yards and 2 picks, 0 TDs. Don't need to say much more there.
Yeah, back-to-back, Dak, back-to-back. I like it.
Yeah.
Mine is some analysis mixed in with a question for you. And my instant reaction, is Mike Williams the next Mike Williams? Meaning the Mike Williams that was for USC, because he missed the beginning of the year for the Chargers with a back issue. Now he's got a leg issue. We saw Brashard Perriman and Kevin White kind of stumble into the league with injuries, and they've really never bounced back. The big knock on Mike Williams of the Chargers was he can't get separation at the line. He really relies on his size. I kind of compare him a little bit in that sense to Kelvin Benjamin. So right now, with Mike Williams, I'm not nearly as big on him in like a keeper league or a dynasty league. If I would have drafted him in the preseason, I was not super high on him. I was higher on Corey Davis, but I still thought Mike Williams was worth a shot. I don't know if I like him at all right now.
I mean, he is still dealing with the thing that his back injury that he never got surgery on and trying to play through that. So I'm not going to be so quick to judge Mike Williams after he misses an entire first year. If he pulls like a Kevin White and does the same thing next year, maybe. But I don't think I'm going to categorize him like that yet.
Yeah, I know it's quick, and yeah, there's obviously still hope for him.
Like he's played 3 games.
Okay, but what wide receiver that has been having all these injuries like early in their career, which one has ever bounced back and actually ended up doing good?
I'm sure there's plenty.
I couldn't think of any.
How am I supposed to think of any of the top of my head?
I was going to text you earlier and say, hey, start thinking about people, because the names that came to my mind were Brashard Perriman and Kevin White, and they're both trash.
Yeah, you're thinking like the last 3 years of life, not like the entirety of the NFL.
Well, regardless, I'm just saying, like, if I had high hopes for him in like a keeper in a dynasty league, they're not there anymore. I'm kind of punting on him.
Okay, well that's a little early to do that.
Well,
you're punting on first down.
You haven't shown me anyone that's come back from an injury like that.
You're punting on first down right now.
Well, if you were the Dolphins, you would punt on first down every once in a while. It's not that bad of an idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on. We'll revisit that one in the future, I'm sure. The nightcap of Thanksgiving, terrible game. Redskins 20, Giants 10. I think our instant reactions are going to kind of tie together. I'll let you go first here, though.
I said touchdown threat. I think Josh Doxson will be a consistent, with Terrell Pryor out, Josh Doxson will be a consistent red zone threat the rest of the year. The only scary thing about him is it's kind of hit or miss, because you're relying just purely on that touchdown, and he doesn't seem to be putting up a lot of yards. That's going to be either Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed, and then Vernon Davis sucked and had no points this last week, or Jameson Crowder. So it's going to be, you're going to be relying on a touchdown. It's going to be scary to use him, but he's the guy you have to plug and play every now and then, because I think you're going to get some touchdowns out of him the rest of the year, especially with Kirk Cousins.
See, that bleeds right into mine, because mine is one more week, and it's actually not Josh Doxson. It's ride the wave with Jamison Crowder for one more week. He's at double-digit targets, 3 of his last 4. In that game against the Giants, 141 yards and a touchdown. They play the Cowboys next week, and we just saw what Keenan Allen did to them. He just totally crushed them. Keenan Allen went off now for 2 straight weeks. So you've got Crowder against the Cowboys, and then next week they play the Chargers. So definitely not as high on him then. But you're still getting Jamison Crowder at an awesome price right now on DraftKings and FanDuel. I'm using him again next week. I like him more than Doxson for sure.
Next.
Falcons, Bucks. Falcons 34, Buccaneers 20. What do you got?
Irrelevant. Just to me, Tampa Bay, I used Doug Martin today, but Tampa Bay seems like the most fantasy relevant team right now. And it's so weird because their offense, seem to be the most fantasy, exciting team coming into the season. I was pumped about all those threats with Jameis and Martin and Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans and Cameron Brate, OJ Howard, all those guys.
Too many guys.
Yeah, it was so exciting. Oh my God, everybody's going to be scoring so much. But it's Doug Martin went out with an injury, and I think he would have actually ended up having a really good game because he had a good start and they scored. But besides that, they're just almost completely irrelevant.
I know one of the things today I saw on Twitter, we had a question, and it was using a guy over Mike Evans. And I can't remember who it was now, but I'm like, you have to use Mike Evans, basically based on the fact that he's a top 5 talent at wide receiver. But I don't even know. You might have to throw that out the window right now. If there was a team that they could have beat, it probably would have been Atlanta. I think Trufant got hurt at cornerback too. So just ample opportunities. And what did Evans get? Like 7 fantasy points today?
Yeah, he had a decent amount of yards.
Yeah, so using Buccaneers is really tough right now. It just sucks because you probably put a first or a second round pick in a guy like Mike Evans.
I put a first round pick into him.
Yep. My instant reaction
I'm in last place, Matt.
you're just destined for that after your first round pick lets you down.
Yeah.
Mine is prime time. And I said this on Twitter.
Deion Sanders.
Julio, I should have just said Deion, yeah. Julio goes 12 catches, 253 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If he'd have done this on a primetime game, he would have gotten that Antonio Brown love where he went off and had his 3-touchdown game, and everyone said he was the best receiver of all time. And I'm going to say it again. Antonio Brown is great. Okay? I'm admitting it. He is great. I have nothing against him. But I'm going to stand by Julio Jones being the best receiver right now in the NFL, and I'm not basing it just on this game. Julio always gets it done. The lack of touchdowns for Julio is not on him. It's not on him, and I'm bringing it up now because I'm more comfortable bringing it up after a 2-touchdown game.
Oh, my God. He always gets it done. That's the biggest flaw in your argument right there because Antonio Brown's the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL. So that's the definition of somebody who gets it done. He puts up 100-something yards, it seems like, every single game.
Yeah, they both get it done. Can't we?
Well, Julio,
What's wrong with that?
For a bunch of games. So when you're looking at, numbers relevance, Antonio Brown is way more consistent, way more reliable in those terms.
Okay, when you talk about vanishing, what happened when Antonio Brown played the Colts? He vanished. When you think about Julio vanishing, he still gets 70, 80 yards. You're just used to him going 100-plus in a touchdown just because he's Julio Jones. We hold him to such a higher standard. He's still having a good year. He was 4th in the NFL in receiving yards. He wasn't having a bad year.
It's a week, dude.
Yeah, let's go with that. You even said Julio Jones.
Underplaying Antonio Brown.
Remember how I started? I said he was great.
Yeah, but not really. But then it's no offense, but it's like he's great, but I'm going to cut him down right now.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take that away. That's what I was going with there.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go to the Panthers versus the Jets. I looked at this game beforehand, and I thought about taking the under, even though it was only 39. Freaking Panthers score 35, and the Jets scored 27. What do you got here?
Overrated. I don't even know if that's the right word to use here. I want to use something else.
Underwhelming, maybe?
Yeah. It's I don't know. I'll go with overrated, but there's a different term for what I want to say. But I think Carolina has to be the most, I don't think they're overrated because I think people realize that they're not that good. So I say the most overrated team in the NFL. But their record is so much better than what they actually are. Cam was awful today, but they won because they were playing the Jets. My prediction is that they will lose 3 of their next 4 games against the Saints, Vikings, Bucks, and Falcons. I think they lose the Saints, the Vikings, and Falcons, and only beat the Bucks in those next 4 games. So I think you're going to see there a huge drop-off on the Carolina these next 4 games. Yeah,
that's tough. I mean, you look at that team, and I feel like they struggle more often than not, but they just find a way to win, and their record is so much better than you would anticipate. I mean, for a while there, it looked like they were going to lose to the Jets. Yeah. That was an ugly game.
Yep.
My instant reaction is Southern Trio, and I think I probably know your answer to this now based on what you said, but it was, can 3 teams from the NFC South make the playoffs? Because right now you have the Saints at 8-2, pending what happens here against the Rams. They're down 6 with 2 minutes left. You've got the Panthers at 8-3, and you've got the Falcons at 7-4. So if all 3 of these teams would make the playoffs, that would likely mean no Dallas Cowboys, no Detroit Lions, no Seattle Seahawks, assuming that the Eagles, Vikings, and Rams each win their division. So are you thinking 3 is a possibility from the South, or it kind of sounds like you're not?
No, I don't think the Panthers end up making it. I think the Falcons and Saints will, but I don't think the Panthers end up making the playoffs this year.
God, that's amazing that they only have 3 losses.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
have 6 before you know it.
Part of me, I mean, the Seahawks kind of got by today. Part of me thinks the Lions might end up taking that one, but I do like 2 from the South. 3 would be a bit of a stretch. I agree with you there.
Yeah, 2 will come out of there.
Let's talk about the Bengals and the Browns for 3 seconds.
Talk about sex.
Because my instant reaction, as Jay-Z once said, on to the next one. This game means so little to me. I'm looking on to the next game with the Browns because the rumor was that And it looks like the Rams will hold on because the Saints just did not get that
Yes,
onside
did.
kick. So the Saints have one more loss. They go to 8-3. But the rumor we were hearing today was that Josh Gordon will be back. So if he is back, it makes the Browns a little bit more fun to watch.
Yep.
And it also means that he might remember playing a game because apparently he's never played sober before. So this could be interesting for everyone, including him.
Yep.
But if he's back and you've stashed him in a redraft or some other league or in DFS, are you going to use him? Because I'm assuming that you would have other wide receiver options since he hasn't played all year if you have him in redraft. And in DFS, I'm assuming he's going to be dirt cheap, especially because he's going against the Chargers.
Yeah, it's hard to use a guy like that when you have no idea what his. I mean, he's got a rookie quarterback out there. I don't know if they have any time together. Probably not. So I'm not touching a guy like that until I at least see him play 1 week. I'm not risking that right away, especially in DFS or any other league, especially this close to the playoffs. No.
Right, and I agree with you, and it kind of sucks too because a lot of people probably spent a lot of their free agent money on a guy like Gordon just because of his name and the hype surrounding him. Not really thinking though that when he does come in, it's not like he's just going to be able to jump in. He's playing with brand new quarterbacks. He's been away from the game. Well, from what I heard and read about, it sounds like he already is the best receiver at practice. But
Yeah.
I mean, who's he going against? An injured Corey Coleman? So
He's a man, though.
yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, though. I am not using him because you probably already have other options. Bye weeks are done. You don't have to worry about that. And in daily fantasy, I have a feeling that you'd just be punting on a position at that point, even though he would be a hell of a bargain.
Yeah.
What do you have for this game?
Living up to expectations. My boy Isaiah Crowell starting to finally bounce back, put up some good yards. Could use a touchdown in there, but he'll get that. He's hit a couple. I think he's now become a must start every week. It's about time because it's playoffs. I drafted him everything, and he's starting to finally be the guy I wanted him to be. I predicted that he would be. It's just a little late, but it's fine because as long as he's doing the playoffs, I'm happy. I'm excited that Crowell's coming back.
Doesn't it suck when you're high on a couple of guys, you get them in a league, you're all pumped, and then they just start slow, and then as the year progresses, they finally start doing well, and you're like, all right, asshole, thanks for showing up now when I need you.
As long as he wins me a championship, I'll be okay.
There you go. Let's go on to an AFC South battle between the Titans and the Colts. Titans eke out a 20-16 win. What's your takeaway here?
What do I got here? How? It is a single syllable this time.
Perfect.
How?
First time ever, I think. We did it.
Yes. That's what my son says. I did it. Okay. How is this Titans team 7-4? This is like we were just talking about the Panthers. They're awful. They are so bad. But they're in the AFC South. It's is this a team that you want to watch? The AFC is bad. Have you looked at the playoff picture?
Yeah,
the Ravens suck. The Titans suck.
Yeah.
It's just a bad.
We're gonna get there when we talk about the Patriots game.
The Bills aren't really that good either. It's bad. It's a bad conference. It's a bad conference. And are the Titans a team you want to watch in the NFL playoffs?
No.
Not me.
No.
They suck.
No. And my instant reaction kind of bleeds into yours a little bit because we both talk about the Titans, and mine is premature. I'm not talking about my life in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
I jumped the gun a little bit on Corey Davis, preseason and this week. This week he only had 4 catches, 39 yards. He did catch all of his targets, though, so I am happy about that. I don't really think that this is totally on Corey Davis, though. I think this is more of a Mariota and the Titans offense. Mariota put up 184 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Against the league's worst.
2 picks.
Was it 2 picks?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you didn't see them? I saw both of them.
Oh, I think I must have missed the last one. But that's the league's worst pass defense, and he throws under 200 yards, 2 picks, and it's not like they were getting it done on the ground. So it's not like a game they weren't relying on him. They ran for 92 yards in a team, 3.3 yards per carry. I don't know if this is a Mariota regress or if it's just the fact that he and the team just isn't that good when the run game doesn't open things up. I think that's a big part of it.
Cardinals are going for a 57-yard field goal to beat the Jaguars right now at the end of regulation.
All right.
A long fucking field goal.
Hopefully there's not. Oh, you're going to see it before me, too, because your TV's ahead of mine.
Is it going to get there? Oh, the Cardinals beat the Jags.
Spoiler alert, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Jaguars, and the AFC gets a little bit weaker because a team in the South, they're now tied with the Titans. I believe they're both 7-4. Yeah. Nice. Let's move. We probably don't even need to talk about that game. We just did.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one. The I'm going to let you talk about this one right away because the Bills beat the Chiefs 16-10.
If you want to win, put Tyrod in. You never should have taken him out in the first place. Like, he keeps you in the game. He makes plays. He makes throws. Fucking out there, wheeling, dealing, using his legs. Didn't throw him much, but whatever. It's still Tyrod. Run the ball around a little bit. Threw a touchdown to Zay Jones. They win. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who were at one point considered maybe the best team in the NFL. Definitely falling, but still a big win. Why give up a game which they could have had a chance to win?
That's the thing. Yeah.
When they are the team of the wild card, they could actually be 7-4 right now instead of 6-5.
That's what it boils down to, because like you said it perfectly. They gave up a win. Not saying they were instantly just going to beat the Chargers with Tyrod in. They would have at least given themselves an opportunity to be in the game.
Yeah. He's a threat, and he helps LaShawn McCoy. I had a bad list there. He's a threat on the ground and to get out of the pocket and throw in the air. And it just keeps. I know LaShawn didn't have a great game, but it's more of a threat on the ground for both McCoy and Taylor. When he's out there, it's just. And then the fact that he's not throwing an interception every 5 seconds keeps the defense in, and they play that much better.
Literally, I think that's what it broke down to every 5 seconds.
It seemed
with
like
Peterman.
It, but, look how much of a difference the defense plays.
Oh, yeah.
When he keeps the ball in their hands.
If you're a Bills fan, you have to be pissed off at the fact that you're going to be in the thick of it in the wild card, and I do want to see this Jaguars play just end up in a touchdown. But you have to be pissed off because you're going to be in the thick of it in the wild card, and like you said, you basically forfeited a game to the Chargers, who are also going to be in the wild card. So that's a pretty tough break for them. Mine was collapse continues. The Chiefs, every week I think they're going to probably snap out of this and bounce back, and they just haven't. They didn't even have 250 yards of total offense today. The defense played better. That was good to see. But you've got Kareem Hunt that averaged less than 2 yards per carry. You had Tyreek Hill, who's supposed to be getting open downfield and making splash plays. He averaged under 6 yards per catch. You have Travis Kelce, a top 3 tight end in the league, 3 catches on 4 targets. The Chiefs aren't going to win with that recipe. That's not how you're going to get it done. 6-5 now. They've got 3 division games left.
Yeah.
Chargers are a game back.
Wild. I know. I think I might have accidentally put them in my bucket now that I was thinking about this. I haven't looked yet.
Yeah.
I'm upset if I did. I'm going to look now that you're talking.
I did, and I'm upset about it because I was going to ask you, not necessarily who's going to win the division, but who do you feel more confident in as like a fan? If you're a Chiefs fan or a Chargers fan, what one would you be more confident with?
Dude, that Chargers defense is legit.
I know.
They have the best pass rushers in the game, combination of them. They have great cornerbacks. Yeah, I fucking put the Chargers in. God damn it.
Yep, we're both screwed on that one, I think.
Fucking A. And they have it all on defense, and then they have an offense that's good, pretty dang good, with Melvin Gordon, Phillip Rivers throwing to fucking Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen healthy, you can see what he can do for the whole year under him. It's amazing. So they're good. They're a good football team. I don't know.
For sure. I feel better as a Chargers fan right now than I would as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and they're starting to win their games by a bunch instead of making them close.
Yeah,
much easier that way.
Don't give yourselves a way to blow it at the end that way.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Patriots. Stomping the Dolphins 35-17. I'll jump into mine right away because it's Brady, Big Ben, AFC Championship game, collision course. It's literally what you were just saying. There's no one in the AFC that's going to compete with them. I think Pittsburgh is maybe the only team that can hang with them, but I don't even know if they can. Pittsburgh has ugly wins as well. They haven't really quite put it together, so it's just another year where I'm comfortable saying I will take the Patriots against the field in the AFC to represent that conference in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet.
There's no one else I would consider outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Pats rule, Fins rule.
You went with the 3rd grade single syllable there.
That's why it's single syllable. Pats rule, Fins rule. I just like that you know it.
And
as long as I'm suffering, I'm going to let you know your team fucking sucks.
Yeah, this went perfectly. Again, today it was still somewhat of an entertaining game, and they didn't win. I'm just kind of banking on the decent draft pick now. So good game. I was happy with my Sunday.
Sure.
Eagles, Bears. Yeah, you got to do it. Eagles 31, Bears 3. What do you got here?
Nailed it. All right. I told people to use Aguilar on the flex. I got 2 touchdowns. You are welcome. I don't even care how I got the second touchdown. Don't even question it. Doesn't matter. So is it in the stat books? Did you get a touchdown? Did you get those points? Yes. You got 2 touchdowns out of Aguilar. Plus, I called him the red zone threat. He scored a touchdown at like a 15-yard line. So, fuck off.
I hate that. You can just recover a fumble and then you get the fantasy points for it. I agree someone has to get the points for it, but man, what a cheap way to say that you nailed it. Especially,
your boy Ajayi did my boy Aguilar a favor.
Yeah, he just dropped it in front of him.
Hey!
I also like the fact that you said that you nailed it and you said that, but then you also, in your against the spread picks, took the Bears.
Well, you know what? I nailed it. Don't worry about it.
My instant reaction is, hey, defensive coordinators, call in sick. Because you mentioned in last week's podcast how the Bears have hung around with some good teams, especially when they're at home. This game was never in doubt. It's a new guy every single week for the Eagles. You got Carson Wentz, Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, LeGarrette Blount, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Zach Ertz, Troy. I was going to call him Troy Smith. Torrey Smith. None of these guys are like top-level studs, like all-out studs, like an Antonio Brown, a Gronkowski, a Julio. They're not like studs that you need to take away. But if you try to take one away, it doesn't matter because one of those other million people that I just said, they're going to get it done. That offense is dirty.
To be fair, it's Wentz every week. I don't know why you throw him in the new guy every week because it's him every week.
It is him every week. But, at the same point, too, it's like...
New guy outside of
him. Because, Wentz has been, like, the one consistent.
Best quarterback in the NFL right now.
It's amazing that guy is, like, a legit MVP contender coming out of North Dakota State.
Brady. Fucking A, man.
Right.
You ever imagine that? Wentz golfing Brady right now?
Man, unbelievable. I don't have a score for this one because...
24-13.
The Seahawks beat the 49ers 24-13. Thank you for that one, DJ.
Got it.
What do you got here?
Outside looking in, I'm going to take a different approach on this one. Seahawks struggle once again. I'm predicting right now the Seahawks do not make the playoffs. They do not underline, make the playoffs. I say they lose to the Eagles, Jags, Rams, and Cowboys. Yet this year, that's 4 losses. No way they get in with 7 or 8 losses. That's a 500 record.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Honestly, I think that we talked about the NFC South potentially having 3 teams. If they have 2, and if the NFC North has 2, there's not going to be room for Seattle if the Rams end up winning the division. I'm kind of with you on that. I almost want to do a bold pick here and put them in my bucket just to make some points up on you in case you don't.
That'd be real ballsy. I got to make up for the Chargers somehow.
Yeah, right.
One extra team in my bucket.
I figured that you were going to talk about Seattle, so I just wanted to give the 49ers a quick pick-me-up. So my thing that I have for the 49ers, my single syllable, and it's what we do for you for your against the spread picks. It's embrace the suck. Mm-hmm. This is for the 49ers fans out there.
Should have never got that win.
Exactly. Well, that's one bad thing. But my recommendation, watch these games, remember the feeling that you have, because eventually you're going to end up turning it around. You'll get some wins. You're going to feel even more. I'm going to put some names out here for you right now. Trent Taylor, Matt Breida, Kyle Juszczyk, which, by the way, has 2 Z's in it.
Matt Breida.
Same thing. Kendrick Bernie, and Garrett Selleck. These are just a sample of names of those who caught passes today for your team, but you don't need to worry because it's not going to happen much longer in the future. You're not going to have to worry about these guys. You've got Shanahan in at coach. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo. You've got future picks. You're going to have free agents. You're going to have a brand new team. So right now, watch these games. Embrace the suck. Give it time. It's going to feel that much better when you start winning.
Nice.
Next, we've got the Raiders and the Broncos, and I believe the Raiders won.
Yep, Raiders 21-14.
They must have scored at the end there?
Yeah, I didn't even see it. Let's see here.
I last saw
Trevor Siemian to Benny Fowler, and Cody Latimer scored as well.
Okay, so Siemian came in and threw 2 second-half touchdowns.
Yep.
What do you got here, then? Because it's going to work out perfectly.
Crybaby. Did you see that bitch Lynch crying on the sideline at the end of that game? Like, just uncontrollably sobbing like a little bitch? Like, Christ, that is the most pathetic thing. Like, oh, I'm crying because I got to play for 2 seconds. I sucked. Got in there and got taken out anyways. Like, he was awful. And also, I hate his facial hair. He looks like a child molester. Like, he needs to fix that, or I'm going to fix it for him.
I've got so many things I want to add because, one, you can't say a Raiders game and say Lynch without any context because if he were to somehow hear this and you just called him a bitch, you are dead.
Paxton Lynch.
So let's let it be known that DJ was talking about Paxton Lynch of the Broncos, not you, Marshawn. Number 2, you were talking about just the way Paxton Lynch looks. And I saw something on Twitter right before we started this, and it said, like, he looks like the member of a boy band who never gets to be, like, a singer or, like, the lead guy, and he literally does. Like, what a sad guy. They're in the hunt for a quarterback moving forward, right? I mean,
I hate his face. I hate it.
I mean, they're going to have to do something about that position.
They have to bring there's Aguilar's touchdown I'm watching on replay.
Yeah,
well,
thanks for jumping in with that useless insight.
I love the touchdown, man. Pick it up and roll in.
I'm going to stop talking about Paxton Lynch, and I'm going to get to the real meat of this game. And my takeaway is start wearing fake jewelry. This is the second straight year.
Don't wear any. Like, why have to wear them?
No, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why you do this. Because this is the second straight year Talib has ripped a chain off Michael Crabtree's neck. So you know he's going to want to do it 3 years in a row next year. So both ended up getting ejected. But if you're wearing fake jewelry, Aqib Talib, real early in the game, comes up to you. You shove him a little bit. He grabs for your jewelry. Boom. The ref's going to see that. He's going to call a flag on Talib. We'll see how Talib, if he throws a punch, he's gone again. If you're Crabtree, it's fake jewelry. You don't care that it's broke. You don't care that he has it. Your ploy to set him up to try to get him out of the game worked. So start wearing fake jewelry. That's the takeaway from this.
I don't even think it should be legal to wear jewelry, to be honest with you, but whatever.
Yeah, that is kind of wild. And I also want to ask you, why is Marshawn Lynch always happen to be the friend of the guy on the other team that his team is fighting? He was escorting Aqib Talib out of the game today.
Well, it's because he's a thug, too. It's like Aqib Talib's a thug, so they got that thug-like brothership. But, like, I don't understand. Like, I immediately, when I see that fight, the first person I'm looking for is Marshawn Lynch to be just fucking, like, body slamming something and then just slamming his face on the ground. And I'm so disappointed to see him all, like, the voice of reason and walking dude up the field, because that's not the, like, vibe that Marshawn Lynch puts on.
Not at all.
The vibe that he's going to beat the shit out of somebody.
Right, but I just think Marshawn is boys. Like, I think he's so cool with so many people in the league that he doesn't want to fight. And I don't think the people that aren't boys with him want to fight with him because they know they will just die. Like,
he's from Oaktown. There's no chance.
I still want to see a battle to the death of Marshawn Lynch versus Rob Gronkowski because I don't know who I would pick.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch would win.
You think so?
Hands. Oh, yeah,
dude, Gronk is just Gronk's a different planet type person, though, man.
He's a big idiot. Well, Lynch would just fucking murder him in like seconds. It'd be so easy.
I actually just wanted to party with both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be great. Let's move on to the Saints and the Rams. We talked about it a second ago. The Rams held on
26-20.
26-20. What do you got for us here?
I get Goff when you make me Watkins. I get off when you make me wet.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, sleeper stack worked out pretty good for me. You know what? I was a little disappointed. I don't know if you guys heard it, but they had one opportunity there at the end to get a second touchdown connection. Nice little throw. Watkins couldn't quite pull it in. He had it for a second. Should have been 2 touchdowns. There's only one, about 80-something yards. Still worked out pretty good for my sleeper pick. Goff had a good game. Watkins had a decent game. I'm pretty excited about that. I think they're going to build something.
Yeah.
Even once Robert Wood comes back.
I really like that team. I can't say much more about them. We talk about the Rams a lot where we've kind of really changed our tune on them. Neither of us were obviously high on them preseason. Right now, I mean, if they were in the AFC, they'd probably make an argument to be the second best team in the conference. So that's right. I mean, they're a really good team. I'll talk about the Saints real quick. My instant reaction is Kamara. I mean, that guy every single week we talk about using him or Ingram, and I tend to just use whichever one's cheaper. But now they're at the point where they're the same price. But I'm going to use him over Ingram. I mean, he just dominated again today. I'm looking at what he did for me here: 101 receiving, 87 rushing, a touchdown rushing, a touchdown receiving, 6 receptions. basically 34 FanDuel points. And
Yeah, he dominated.
it's just a matter of time before, I mean, that guy's going to be super expensive. He might kind of like price yourself out of him. But
Yeah, I played against him in one, though, just so you guys know.
nice. But, I mean, the whole debate right now is like, okay, if you're in a dynasty or a keeper league, you could have Kareem Hunt or Alvin Kamara. Who are you taking? It's like,
Yeah.
I'd like
Right
them
now, you
both,
have
but
to take Alvin.
Kamara does everything, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Kareem has just fell off the face of the earth.
And like I was texting you
Who's the
earlier.
rookie of the year? I still like Leonard Fournette's been so awesome. Now Kamara's coming up.
I know.
Dalvin Cook would have been in this talk.
Oh, that'd have been a great debate.
It's great.
Yes.
I wish Dalvin Cook could have stayed healthy. That would have been fun.
I know, me too. And like I would text you earlier today, Kamara's already good. Imagine how good guy would be if he had a number in like the 20s or 30s. Why is he out there running around with a 40s number?
That's a terrible joke.
So damn confusing.
I don't get that comment.
Why? He doesn't belong to be in the 40s. Just looks like an idiot.
Running backs wear 40s. What about Peyton Hillis?
Yeah. If you're wearing 40s, you're either white or you're a fullback. You're not Alvin Kamara.
Oh well, or you're a white guy who should be a fullback.
Or that. Yes, exactly. We talked about the Jags and the Cardinals. Do you have anything else you want to add to that game?
No, we didn't prep in it. Like just ended 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Jags can't lose another one like that.
that's the biggest thing. I mean, you're talking about the Jags basically at top of the conference. We go back and forth. You like the Jags. I like the Titans to win that division. And man, if
I
you're
don't
gonna,
think you like the Titans anymore.
well, I'm just saying like them to win the division.
I
But
don't think you like them to win anymore.
well, I don't think you like.
watching the game.
I don't think you like the Jaguars after watching them lose to the Cardinals. At least my team that I think's gonna win one.
Yeah, but come on, come on.
All right, I've had enough. Prediction and thoughts on the Sunday night game. We've got Green Bay at Pittsburgh.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
No predictions. All right. I'm like the analyst who works the game. I refuse to predict a loss for my team.
I like that. You're like the guy on game day because they always have like the homer. Like you never pick against your team.
Yeah.
In your case, you're Kirk Herbstreit. You're working the game.
Exactly. On Kirk Herbstreit, I will not pick the game here.
Nice.
I feel like I'm working it.
Well, I already have my bold prediction that the Steelers are going to score a touchdown at some point and do a family dinner. But I didn't get to see it because I was in the car on the way to Thanksgiving, and you said that someone in the Lions-Vikings game already did it.
Yeah, the Vikings did it because Stephon Diggs was in the middle holding the football as a turkey.
Yeah, so I'm a little upset. I mean, I'm happy because I called it in a way, but it was just the wrong game.
Yeah.
So my actual prediction for this game, Steelers 31, Packers 13. That's all I've got. I don't think the Packers can hang. I mean, we're talking about the Steelers at home. Le'Veon Bell. I say it every week. I think this is the game he goes off. It's got to happen.
So your prediction. He's getting a tattoo, yeah. He's getting inked done. He asked for a 13. What they do on 31?
Oh, nice.
Right off the top of my head.
My single syllable could have been, oh my God, I was going to, what's that band called?
Was that Blink-182?
No.
Offspring. Sorry.
Offspring. There you go. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah, that popped into my head just now. It's great.
Yeah, I know we got to cut this one right now just because we got a lot of stuff that we got to get going on today.
That's my football game.
We got a lot of football and basketball to be watching. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, follow us on Twitter at Loaded Box. Ask your fantasy football start-sit questions there. Later this week, make sure to check back with us. We'll be doing our Week 12 preview podcast. God, season's Week 13? It's Week 13. This is Week 12. Yeah. Season's flying by. So thanks again for listening and send us out.
Bye.